I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know that I like to do it when I do it.
Well, at the end of the day, it's whatever just brings you joy,
Yeah.
as Marie Kondo says.
So you know what brought me joy?
What?
Today.
So today we did CTC Obstacles, which is like a Ninja Warrior parkour style gym
Yeah.
here in London, Ontario. And it was a total surprise for Jess. So
Yeah.
I let Jess know, hey, we're going somewhere Thursday, which is the days that we usually release the podcast, as well as the day that we record one for the next week. And she's like, okay, I don't want to know what it is. Don't tell me. Perfect. So we arrived there, and she's like, where are we? What is this place? I'm like, don't worry. It's going to be a lot of fun. You saw obstacles. At that point,
Yeah.
did you kind of clue in as to what this was actually going to be about?
Not at all. So I was really glad to have a total surprise about this. So Isaac just said, meet me at our gym at 9 and we're going. And I didn't even ask when we got into the car. I wanted to be totally surprised. I didn't know till we walked in. So we drive across London. We show up at this red brick building. There's literally nothing on the outside. No signage, no windows, nothing. There's barbed wire over the top. It's an industrial building. I was like, okay, Isaac, what's going on? Because I told you I wanted the intensity dialed up. I wanted to be pushed out of my comfort zone. Yeah. And then I had that moment of, oh, here we are, out of my comfort zone. So I saw obstacles, and I honestly thought it was going to be an obstacle course.
Like a military style, like it's
that.
raining, and you're like, oh, I guess we're gonna be running through the mud and stuff.
Yeah, like maybe
like my white shoes,
my white shoes, my white new shoes.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like, tubes to crawl through and jump over things and run, like an obstacle course.
Yeah.
We walk in, and we didn't know where we were going. Nobody else was there, and Angela, who was our instructor today, is down there waving, saying, hi, how's it going? She was so welcoming. She knew that we were completely new because she knows everybody that's a part of their gym, similar to our gym, very community-based. She said, I saw 2 people sign up today. I knew it would be different. And she customized it for us. But we show up, and they've got kind of a gym side with weights and big tires and ropes and everything. But then you look across, and it's this massive, how many square feet do you think it is?
I don't know. I don't even want to say like probably 6,000, 7,000 square feet, maybe.
It was
I'm
huge.
Completely lying. It was not a small place. It was a big place, super high ceilings.
Yeah.
And then all the ninja style, parkour style equipment. It was like a massive playground.
This is my face when I walked in. Ready?
Yeah.
But I was wearing a mask.
And then this was my face.
I was like, okay, here we go.
I was so excited.
Monkey bars.
Everything.
Slope things.
What's it called? The warp wall.
Warp wall.
So when I signed up for the class, because there's different classes that they offer, and Angela was the coach that brought us through it. So there's, your standard like obstacle style classes that you can go to, and there's a lot of kids classes.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little later on. But then there's like standard strength and conditioning style classes as well. So today's class that we technically signed up for was a HIIT style class. But when she saw that it was us 2, she's like, okay, I recognize the name. She knew that we were from Movement Strength, which was really nice because the community, our community is fairly small here in London, Ontario.
So nice.
Yeah, and she's like, I figured you guys would probably want to experience more of like the obstacles, so I created this little workout for you guys to do to try out like all the cool little things.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. So she kind of like brings us through it, like, okay, this is what you're going to do, and then she gave us demos of how all those things how all those things are done. And for me, like, it was, I'm like, this is going to be freaking hard. So I'm like excited but nervous, and I'm like, man, I wonder how Jess is feeling right now, because this stuff is like, you need some like upper body strength.
This is what it was.
Yeah, Jess like said, how many masks do you have in your pocket?
They break, so you gotta be safety first.
That's good.
Okay, so yeah, I won't lie. Grew up skiing, figure skating, hiking, mountain biking, all this stuff, like a bit of rock climbing and all that. But I did not do any sports that really focused on upper body. So I've never been super upper body strong, in my personal opinion. That's changing because I'm working with Brooke, and she is a weapon, and she's programming things that she says boulder shoulders,
Nice.
which I love. But I'm usually quite intimidated by anything that requires the upper body stuff. So, of course, we walk through, and this whole thing is, I didn't even think I was going to be able to hang off of the rings, do the monkey bars. Everything was the peg holes.
Yeah.
I just looked at it, and of course, I love that moment where you're scared but excited, and you don't know if you're going to be able to do something or not. That's such a sweet spot in life. Yeah. And so I had my mask on, just, this is so fun.
Yeah.
Yay. But in my head, I thought, what if, because the worst case scenario in my head was I'm not able to do any of this.
Yeah.
But that's toxic.
Yeah. And but this is the thing too, right? Is I was thinking the same thing. Like the very first station was, if you can imagine rings, like gymnastics rings hanging from the ceiling, and you swing from one ring to the next.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at it and you're like, well, these are really far apart. This can be super difficult. I hope I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one was like the little step thingies. If you've ever watched Ninja Warrior, they're like the slanted little walls that you run on. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I could do that. And then we do our first set, and both of us were able to do those things.
Yeah.
Like it took a second to get used to the rings, but then you're like, wow, okay, I can probably do so much more than I actually think I'm capable of.
Yeah.
So that's what was really cool for me, was like, oh wow, this stuff is obviously difficult, but it's not like it's undoable. And I will say, you should probably have a certain level of fitness before trying some of these things. But like, to me, like the reason I work out is so I can do cool shit.
Yeah.
And like that was like that was like a playground for me.
You know what? I love that you said that, because I feel the same way now.
Yeah.
That's so cool that we can walk in there, and because of the dedicated programming that we've implemented into our lifestyle, that wasn't off the table. And in fact, when I say my fear was that I couldn't, I knew that I was going to be able to. I just wasn't sure how scalable it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because she had different levels of, she starts off on these rings. Okay, let me backtrack, because I didn't have a chance to address this, that we walk in there. She knows we're from Movement Strength. She thinks we're both coaches.
Oh, yeah. I tried to save you a little bit.
You tried to save me a little bit. And I mean, flattering that she sees me and thinks that I'm going to be able to just throw down. That was awesome. But okay, let me be the student.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still the student here. Yeah. And so she was showing us the scalable options. And in my head, I thought for sure Isaac's just going to start on the hard ones.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the one on the rings. This is the fitness class where I am in the more vulnerable position to you.
Last week was me.
Yeah, last week was you.
Is you.
This week was me, which is great, because it should be a trade-off between us. We're such a dynamic duo.
That's it.
But super funny too, because not to bring your height into but
why does it always?
I know.
Make
I
it
don't
into
know why
every podcast?
it makes it into every podcast.
Every podcast. Go ahead.
You got these chairs thinking it wouldn't be a part of it. So for a lot of them, I could touch the ground. So that was a nice safety
and I'm just
blanket.
like,
Isaac's so far up. You were swinging on on one of them though. I was watching you go across.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it was.
You're walking underneath me. That's all.
And I just thought you needed to come down, and I was scared for you.
Yeah, Jess was behind me, actually pushing me. Like it was like on a swing.
Isaac.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, we're going all over the place here.
Sorry.
Do we just talk about that? We might as well. We're talking about it. So there's, what's the word that, I forget what the word is called. I will look it up and I'll pop it up here. But when you're like on a bar and you're swinging yourself and then you like let go and grab onto the next bar. So the reason I was fairly
Gymnastics.
sure, the reason I was confident about it was before we had bars that were closer together here at the gym, and I would do that at the gym, and like everyone, I would try it out.
You're a little spider monkey.
Yeah, so I was like excited, so I'm swinging, and I think she thought I knew what I was doing because the way I was getting momentum, she was like, okay, yeah, he's opening his hips, he actually knows what he's doing, so she's like, yeah, he's got this. So I'm doing this little swingy thing, and it's like a pretty big distance from me to the next bar. And then the way I like opened my hips too late, and I literally just smacked myself into the mats. So I might have it on video. If I do, I'll pop it up here. But like, it was the best.
So from my perspective, Isaac's doing this thing. I'm over on the other side doing the slack line, which was the one place where I kicked your butt.
I could do 2 steps.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to be good at slackline.
Yeah.
It's your Western blood.
It's my Western blood
Nothing.
in the park. But I haven't slacklined since I blew my knees out because I thought, so I'm really happy that I did that.
You killed it.
In a safe environment. Because I would love to actually become a West Coast hippie, get a slack line in the park. But I'm on the slack line and I look over.
Oh, you saw it?
This should be, I hope this is on video too, because my reaction to you, just all I saw was Isaac whipping forward.
It was so.
And then there's Matt, so I couldn't see that.
So you just see me and then I'm gone? Oh man, yeah, it was good.
All I heard was
my glasses
and then
flew out of the, like, we're just gone.
And I wasn't sure if you were okay or not. So I came around the corner and she's laughing at you too, and you're just on the ground.
Thank you.
Glasses off.
Yeah. Well, see, and this is, I always feel bad because like it looked way worse than it was. Like it looks like I smacked my face on the ground, but I kind of caught myself up. But she was like, oh my God, sorry, I thought you knew how to do this because you looked so confident. I'm like, I was very confident going into this movement.
Yeah.
Not so confident now.
I'm so good.
But yeah, you were talking about how I'm short. That's how this all
Oh,
came
that's
to.
how that all came. Well, I mean, the nice thing for me was that I also, so this actually links into what I wanted to talk about too. She takes us through this obstacle course. I'm having my moment of, I don't know if I can do any of this, but I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get in my own head about this, but I'm also going to be safe because just there's so much opportunity for injury here.
Yeah.
So she takes us through that. And then right before we get started, she said, oh, waivers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was my big, actually, I lied before. My biggest fear wasn't that I couldn't do something. My biggest fear is that I would try something and actually get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to strike that balance between not stepping away from trying things, but also not pushing myself past what I'm capable of and getting a bad injury as a result.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say it again, and I'm just repeating myself, but like, it was just so exciting for me.
Yeah.
Because it is honestly like the main reason I work out is to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is to use our fitness. Like, and I think that's what this whole series is about.
Totally.
Like, okay, we did spin the week before. We've done that anaerobic work. We did Pilates. Like, I know some of those might not be perceived as being like these intense workouts that all fitness levels can do, and that's true. But having a certain level of fitness allows you to try all these different types of fitness out there. Like you can go rock climbing, you can do skiing, you can try snowboarding, you could try this Ninja Warrior style course or parkour style course. And it's just fun to be humbled and challenged. But I went into this thinking like, okay, my strong suit is like pull-ups, chin-ups. I've always had like decent upper body. Parkour stuff just has always like appealed to me. So I went in confident.
Yeah.
Like with certain things. So there's the pegboard.
Yeah.
And I've done a pegboard before, but I've never done a lateral pegboard. So I'm trying to do this, and like I could do like 2 rungs. So first I'm like 90 degrees. Yeah. And she's like, no, you don't want to be 90 degrees. You want to have some slack. Mm-hmm. So I tried slack, and that made it a little bit easier. But like that challenged me. And she's like, don't go too hard on this set, or you're going to put all your eggs in one basket.
In one
that
basket.
was, yeah.
Yeah, you'll burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Really
And like
fast.
totally did.
Yeah.
And I went into it thinking like, okay, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do these obstacles and it will be like a good little active recovery day.
Yeah, right.
I was dying.
You were drenched in sweat, and so
super
was I.
sweaty. Yeah, super sweaty.
Because it was interesting because it was 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off.
You keep on hitting that.
I'm sorry. Here, sorry, folks. I'm so sorry. I talk with my hands.
Okay. You're just ruining the experience for everybody.
For everybody. I'm the worst. I'm gonna get fired after this episode. But yeah, the nice thing on those pegs though was I could kind of go on my tiptoes a little bit for a little bit of help. I was still engaging my arms.
Yeah.
But it helped me to have the safety net. I will tell a little personal story because this is a nice moment of growth for me. So moved to Ottawa for work, was working with former and current serving military folks. My boss said, you know, I do CrossFit and I would get you a membership for while you're here. I'm a big yes girl. So of course I thought, yeah, for sure, let's go. And that was a point in my life where exercise was not as prevalent, and I'd just gotten back from being in Africa for a while and had not been working out or doing anything, and went into the first day at this CrossFit gym, super intense CrossFit gym. I've told you this. The guy was like 6'7". His name was probably Wolf, and he just, so intense. And we were running through stuff, and I was just killing myself for it because he was testing my maxes. But because I hadn't done anything, I dropped from the bars at one point and just landed on my knee wrong, completely threw it out.
Shoot.
So that's actually where my fear for this came from,
okay.
was that I had hurt my knee skiing. And it just I literally just dropped down from the bars. And because I was exhausted, it was just an overuse in that moment kind of thing. It went off to the side and I just fell to the ground.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I know that this is going to be bad. And it just instantly swelled up. And he was like, oh no, what is happening? This is an old injury kind of thing. But that experience made me hesitant. Even I remember thinking about that when I first came to movement too, of just, you gotta ease into stuff like that. This time, of course, yes, my feet were close to the ground on a lot of these things, but I felt really stable. So I feel like I've come back from that injury mentally and physically, which feels really good. So to your point of being able to do stuff, I'm really glad that I've taken the time to strengthen past that stuff. And if I wasn't consistently working out, I am confident that something would have happened with my knees there, because that's just what happens to skiers.
Darren skiers. So we did the rings, we did the little jumpy thingamabob, we did this pegboard, and then there was we're gonna, once again, this is like Pilates where we're murdering all the names, but there was like that wall thingy. So once again, if you've ever watched Ninja Warrior, it's like the plexiglass, and then you like jump in and like
funny.
Yeah. So for me, if you can imagine, because I'm so short, I'm spread out like this. Jess is like this to get on this. I'm wide open. But anyways, that one, it's funny, same thing. Like looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to be that bad. But in order to hold yourself up, like you're pushing against and you're pushing your feet against, like my glutes, my adductors were on fire. It's funny that those little body weight movements were just destroying me.
Oh, totally. And the other thing was, most of those movements they all seem to end up on a rope swinging.
Yeah. Yes.
And that I needed to be more confident in myself, I think, because I got onto those, hesitated. But if I went with the momentum, if you trained that, if you got comfortable with the movements there, I could see it where you'd go through there, you'd get on the rope, you'd swing back, you'd be able to do it. But for me, I was just learning how to move from one thing to the next.
That's one thing Angela talked a lot about as well, is like, you will notice, you get 1% better every single time, right? And I definitely noticed that as well, because for that one, right, when you do the little spider thingy and then you go on the rope, at first I couldn't do the rope. And then the next set when we did it, I was able to do the rope.
Yeah.
And then the set after that, I was even able to do a little bit quicker. So like these things, because it's not just like strength, there's a piece of dust. Could I forget that we're on video? These things aren't just strength. So much of it is technique.
Yeah.
So it's learning the technique of these things. Same thing with like when you're doing the pegboard. I was here the whole time, 90 degrees. Like biceps were just burning, where it's like you don't need to do that. You can relax a little bit, right? So over time, I'm sure those movements would come a lot easier. But after that, we had, I think, the warp wall, and there was these like pipes that were hanging that you need to like transfer from pipe to pipe.
The pole dancers.
The pole dancers.
That's what they called them.
That's what she called them.
Which was super fun.
And same thing there. Like that was another one where you're holding on for dear life. So much of these movements are grip strength.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, our grips are going to be a little bit fried.
I'm wrecked. She gave us some liquid chalk, which was really nice. And I had to use so much of it because I have such sweaty hands.
Yeah.
And I was nervous. So every time in between, I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm sweating. I'm nervous. Here we go.
So the warp wall, I'm sure if you guys have done like a Tough Mudder.
Can we do that also? Just side note.
We were supposed to this summer. We
Well,
actually
okay,
had one booked, and
but
then
we should do one.
the vid-19. Yeah, we totally will.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love that.
So they have like that warp wall. If you can imagine, it's like this tall little ramp that
It's
then
like a
kind of
skateboard park almost.
yeah. If you can
Yeah.
imagine a wave, right? Like how
Yeah.
a wave kind of curls up at the top.
But they're steep.
Yeah.
It's not like a skateboard park in that sense.
No.
They're super steep. I was so impressed with you because I got in my own head, and once I was on it, would start to doubt myself.
Yeah.
But you just attacked it, swung up. You were holding on, like
One hand.
chin up. Oh man, it was
Yeah,
really impressive.
So those are tough though. Like that's a mental mind F as well.
Yeah.
Like they have a variety of different sizes as well. I don't, maybe 8, 10, 12, 14. That
Yeah,
might be
it
the
was
numbers.
to 14 because
Yeah.
I know because I said I'm going to 14.
And it's nice that they have those because like 8 feet, it was fairly simple, right? Like you nailed that your first try.
Speak for yourself. Yeah, no, 8 feet was
Right.
simple. Yeah.
And then 10 feet, you start to be like, all right, this is a little bit more focus. And then 12 feet, it's like, okay, this is real life now.
Yeah.
And then 14 feet is just elite.
You did 14.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, 14 is the highest one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think
I think you could have, though.
maybe.
If you had, I think, 10 more minutes there just to.
Well, it's and that's the thing about this stuff is it's like so much of it is mental as well.
Yeah.
Because you see this massive wall, and there's a point where if you're up there and you're hanging, you feel like you're hanging and you're 14 feet above the ground, right?
That's where I'm scared for my knees.
Yeah. So it's I can understand the fear in it, but that was a fun one. That was a really fun one.
I just think that it's a really good one for people who have a baseline level of fitness
sure.
to push themselves out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
And learn a lot about themselves. She was
Yes.
telling us that lots of people go in there, they think they can't do stuff, and they come out almost having just a big epiphany
Yeah.
about who they are.
Yeah.
Because, and I was thinking this the other morning, even at the gym, wasn't really feeling it, was trying to push my maxes on deadlift, and I just thought the only thing in my way is me right now.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can do this, but it's a matter of whether I tell myself that I can or I can't right now.
Mm-hmm.
So to go in there and work through that discomfort of can versus can't
Yeah.
and try versus won't
Yeah.
is huge.
And it's from both sides of things. It's like if you want to challenge yourself in a different way, that's a completely different style of fitness, right? That's, challenging. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you are someone who is really fit, it's very humbling where you're like, yeah, I'm a super strong, guy or girl. I can do this no problem. And then you're like, wow, there's no way I can do this pegboard, or there's no way I can climb this 14-foot wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you see this little kid next to you who does it no problem, right?
Yeah.
So it's, she was talking about CTC obstacles is really popular with kids because they just have no fear.
Yeah.
And it's just them playing. It's a big playground.
Totally.
And like as we grow up, we kind of don't play anymore.
We don't. And I was thinking that we were on the monkey bars and it was really cool. This was one of the last ones that we did. So you go across the monkey bars and then halfway through it shifts. its weight, and then you get onto ropes and try to go from rope to rope. And as I was on the monkey bars, my hands were burning, and I had a flashback to elementary school. And I thought, I don't know when the last time I went on monkey bars was.
Yeah.
And if we hadn't done this, would I ever go on monkey bars again?
Yeah.
I guess maybe if you have kids and you're at the park and
Sure.
whatever, you just kind of show them. But it's kind of that really sad statement that people say of you and your friends went out to play and none of you knew it was the last time.
Yeah.
So emo.
So dark.
So dark. But you don't need to let it be.
No.
You and your friends could go play. I think back to being in Miami, South Beach, they've got an outdoor gym that is very jungle gym style. And there's all these big, like CrossFit, bulky dudes who are out ripping around on it, and females who are just totally enjoying the play aspect of fitness.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Yeah. And I think that's, to that monkey bar one. So you have the monkey bars that go to the ropes, and then the ropes go to the swingy thing where I face planted into
favorite thing.
Face planted into the mats. But that was just it. It was just a big adult and kid playground.
Yeah.
I would 100% go back and recommend to, anyone that wants to challenge themselves or just completely try something new to give it a go. When you watch like Ninja Warrior or you watch the obstacle course racing and
quick pause. Have you watched a lot of those? Because you
Yes.
seem like an expert. You love this.
I love it.
This is your
You have no
secret
idea.
dream.
I'm like, I'm trying to hold it back.
Don't hold it back.
It was everything I wanted and more.
What?
It
Okay,
was.
see, because they were using all these acronyms, and Isaac was going along, and I thought, okay, Isaac either has no idea what she's saying but is being polite, or he totally loves this stuff.
For sure.
Oh, you go home and watch it.
So, but this is the thing, is it's just like anything. Do you know when you're watching the Olympics and you're like, these, what's it called? The walking. Speed walkers. These speed walkers. This is ridiculous. Have you ever tried speed walking? Insanely hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like you see, whatever, people doing hurdles. I can do a hurdle. And then
No,
the
I
hurdle
can't.
is this tall.
You and I will. No, they're, they're 42 inches.
Sure.
They're really high for the men.
So that's what I mean, though. But it's like when you see people doing these things, they're so good that they make it seem so simple.
Yeah.
So I've watched a lot of Ninja Warrior, and I always say to myself, man, I could totally do this.
Yeah.
I
You
could
could
totally
if you
do this.
trained.
And I don't, like, not in like, I would win. More so like, I think I can do this and be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I actually had the opportunity today to try those things, and it was so humbling. And I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I love trying things and not being good at it, especially if I'm like
Absolutely.
passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because then it's just like something to train towards, right?
Totally.
That's why I love Olympic weightlifting, because it's like poetry in motion. That's my whole thing with it. Which is,
Whoa.
that's not my quote. That's a famous weightlifter that says it, which is really good though. But
Interesting.
yeah, it's so much about like technique based, and like changing the littlest thing is going to make your lift different. And that's so much about what this like Ninja Warrior or OCR racing and all that is about. So I loved it. It was very, very fun.
I had no idea. That's such a fun fact.
You'd be really good at this.
Who?
Actually, two people, Will and Luke.
Oh, yeah.
They would murder it.
Absolutely.
We went,
Brooke would too.
oh, for sure. And Anna, everybody.
Kenzie.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
We, did you do rock climbing with us?
No.
Was this before your time?
Before my time.
Okay, so we had an event
It's
at the
hard
gym.
to remember that.
This was like pre-COVID. We did a rock climbing event at Junction,
Nice.
and Will didn't rent shoes or anything. He was just wearing his.
Of course. This doesn't surprise me
No,
even a little bit.
he was wearing his Feiyus, which is like this martial art type shoe, like kung fu shoe,
Of course.
and scaled this wall, no problem. I'm in like rock climbing shoes, like with the big like belts around me. Will's just like yodeling at the top, no problem.
Yodeling. I love
Same
that.
as Luke, like just like keeping his hips close to the wall, knowing exactly what he has to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys and your fitness. But they'd be really good at this Ninja Warrior OCR type stuff as well. Anything else before we go?
No, I just want to say thank you for the surprise.
You're welcome.
That was so fun. It brought me back to childhood
Good.
What a treat
Yes.
to just go in and get to play around, and you and I laughing at each other and having fun. The clip, we were recording some of this, and she said, "Oh, you two are a dynamic duo," because she said something and both of us went, "Woo!"
At the same time.
Same time. I didn't even hear you say
No,
"woo"
me
because
neither.
it was so in sync.
Yeah.
So I'm just having so much fun with this,
Yes.
and yeah.
It's a lot of fun. This week was a bit more in my favor. Next week's video is definitely going to be a little bit more in Jess's favor. So once again, if you guys do have any suggestions on different fitness things that we should try in London or surrounding area, let us know. If you're a gym owner in the area and want us to come out to your gym and just chat it up, please let us know as well. We want to try to meet as many people in the community as we can.
And go support local businesses.
Yes.
CTC Obstacles in London, Ontario. Super fun, great culture, environment.
Yes.
Give it a shot.
Yes. You can go straight to CTC Obstacles, search them up on Google. They have an Instagram, same thing, CTC Obstacles. Very accommodating. You can book all of your classes through their website as well. So it's super easy for us to go and do that. So I highly, highly recommend you guys check this place out. It was so much fun. And you guys won't regret it. With that being said, I hope you guys have the best day ever. Bye for now.
Bye.